Hi everyone. Today we are going to study another type of fact-finding technique, which is questionnaires. Before this, we have studied three different types of fact-finding techniques, which are personal interviews, group discussions and site visits. Now, today we will study questionnaires as a fact-finding technique. Questionnaires are special purpose documents that allow the analyst to collect information and opinion from respondents. So basically, this questionnaires can be used as a means of fact-finding technique by the system analyst, and these questionnaires are special purpose documents which are basically used to collect what? Information and opinion from the respondents. You must have noticed these days while some of the brands conduct online surveys wherein they provide you with questionnaires like where did you hear about this product from, which sunscreen you use, which moisturizer do you use, which brands do you use. So such kind of questionnaires as online surveys you find a lot these days. So those are a form of questionnaires wherein you are asked a question and you are provided with an option for the and you are provided with different options for that question, and you have to choose one or more relevant options. So these are the questionnaires. Now, by using questionnaires, it is possible to collect responses or opinions from a large number of people. Now, as you've seen till now with whatever fact-finding techniques that we've studied, like personal interviews or group discussions or site visits, it is not possible to collect data from a large group of people, because either you talk of personal interviews or you talk of site visits or you talk of group discussions, you can interact with just a few number of people at any given point of time, and it is not possible to collect facts and data from a large number of people. But questionnaire is one such fact-finding technique which enables the system analyst to collect data or responses or opinion from a large number or a large group of people. And this is the only way to get response from a large audience. So this is the only way where you can get response from a large number of audiences, and no other fact-finding technique is capable of gathering information from a large number of audiences. So this is the only way by which you can gather information or responses from a large number of audiences at the same time. Now, what are the advantages of questionnaires? A questionnaire is an inexpensive means of collecting data from a large group of individuals. There's not much that has to be done to prepare questionnaires. Just on a piece of paper or online, you make set of questions and give relevant choices of answers for those questions, and then they can be distributed among large number of people. So it is an inexpensive means. It requires less skill and experience to administer questionnaires. See, when we talk of personal interviews or group discussions or site visits, there needs to be some interpersonal communication skills that the analyst needs to have in order to interact with people, in order to take them into confidence. But when we talk of questionnaires, there is no direct interaction with the people who you are gathering the data from. So not much skills are required in that case. To administer the questionnaires, it requires very less skills and experience. Anybody can administer questionnaires who has a general IQ. Now, proper formulation and interaction with respondents leads to unbiased response from the customers. So the customers or the clients for which this questionnaire is made, since the questions are formulated in a very proper manner, so the interaction with the respondents is in a very unbiased manner, because you do not know who has given what response, so you cannot be biased with anyone. customers can complete it at their convenience. There is no time limit, there is no timer running like in personal interviews or in group discussions or in site visits, wherein there is a specific time period within which you have to conduct these fact-finding techniques. But in case of questionnaires, once the questionnaire is handed over to the respondents, they can finish it or complete it at their own convenience, and there is no timer running that you have to finish this questionnaire in this particular frame of time. There's nothing like that. Now, responses can be tabulated and analyzed quickly. Since you get all the responses from a large group of people at almost the same time or within a specific period of time, say for example 2 days or 3 days, within such span of time you will get the response from all the respondents. So they can be tabulated and analyzed quickly, because you do not have to wait for the responses too much, like you talk to one person, then you tabulate or analyze his response in a personal interview. You talk to another person, then so there's nothing like that. You get all the responses almost at the same time, so they can be quickly tabulated and analyzed when we talk of questionnaires. Now let's look at the disadvantages also, because as I say, everything that has an advantage has a disadvantage too. So what are the disadvantages of questionnaires? The first disadvantage is that sometimes the number of respondents is low. It is not necessary that everyone is interested in participating in the questionnaires. So maybe there is a possibility that the number of respondents can be low at times. Then there is no guarantee that the respondents will answer all the questions. Like in a personal interview or in a group discussion, there is one-on-one interaction. So when you ask a question to a respondent, he has to answer that question. But when you are giving questionnaires to the respondents, it is not necessary that they'll answer all the questions. They may or they may not answer all the questions. So that is again a disadvantage over here. Then sometimes the individual may misunderstand the question. Since the questions are written in a paper or written, since the questions are written, basically they may be written on a piece of paper, or you may conduct that questionnaire online, but they are written. So that means they can be misunderstood at times, and in that situation the analyst may not get the correct answer. And obviously if the question gets misunderstood, so the respondent is likely to answer it in a way that was not expected. You get an answer which is not required. So that means in that situation the system analyst may not get the correct answer. Then let's look at the types of questionnaires. What are the different types of questionnaires? There are basically two types of questionnaires: free-formed questionnaires and fixed-formed questionnaires. So these are the two basic types of questionnaires that we have. If we talk of free-formed questionnaires, these are questionnaires where questions are mentioned along with blank spaces for responses. And that is why the name free-formed, because they can write whatever they want in response to the questions. The clients or the respondents can write anything in the blank spaces for that particular question. So different respondents may have different types of answers for the same questions. So these are free-formed questionnaires where there are no fixed answers, there are no fixed set of answers, and there is a blank after the question, so that the customer can fill in anything as per his choice for the response of that question. And then comes the fixed form questionnaire. These are the questionnaires which basically consist of multiple choices. That means you have a fixed set of answers and the customer or the respondent has to choose from among that particular set of answers only. So there are questionnaires and then there are multiple choices. So basically the MCQs or multiple choice questions are the fixed formed questionnaires. So you have a question, then you have multiple choices, and the respondents can select only from the choices provided and they cannot write anything on their own. Now when we talk of fixed format questions, see if that is wherein the respondent is provided with a multiple choice questions. In the such case, there are various types. The categories of fixed format questions can be true, false or yes, no. Whether you use this product or whether you want this in your information system, true or false, that is the only thing you have to write, or yes or no, that is the only thing you can write and nothing else. Then another option in fixed format questions is the questions whose responses will be of the choices like strongly agree, agree or disagree. This you must have come across many times in online surveys also. Like for a particular information system that is going to be built, what are your requirements? If these are the requirements, then the options are you strongly agree with these requirements, you agree with these requirements, or you disagree with these requirements. So these three options would be provided. Another type of fixed format questionnaires can be ranking type questions, wherein you say, for example, you want to know the priority of the clients, then you give certain choices and then the customers can rank those items or those priorities in order of importance. That way you get to know what is the utmost priority of majority of respondents for that particular requirement. Then comes multiple choice questions. In multiple choice questions or MCQs, you have one question, and for that particular question you have a fixed set of answers left. Say for example 4 set of answers, 5 set of answers, and out of those answers the customer can select either one relevant response or maybe all the relevant responses if they are if all of them are relevant. Like for example, you must have seen in many cases that you have provided with 5 different options for an MCQ. Out of that, either you select one, or sometimes it is mentioned all of the above. So you can select all the relevant also, or you can select one relevant also. So these are the various types of formats for a fixed format questions in a questionnaire.